Too many days in the darkness, without a glimpse of the light. Running tired and broken and scared, but I swear I'll never give up the fight. I see you broken and beat, head pulled down over your eyes. Every part of you wants to surrender, but darling, you were meant to survive. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. Just like a seed in a garden, you will grow to be tall, staring out over miles of land without it, but wanting to build up walls. Lift me up in your branches, we can watch the sunrise. Just a couple of bruised up souls that believe that it was worth one more try. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head. With every start, we are born again. Open your heart and spend less time in your head.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Los Angeles Kings.
Welcome back to Tape to Tape. I am Jesse Cohen. She is Carlin Bays. How are you doing today, Carlin?
I'm doing well, Jesse. Drinking coffee, chilling out, enjoying this Thursday. How about you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Where's that coffee from?
My garage. Nitro,
All right,
cold
not
brew.
from McDonald's then.
No, not today. I
The
wish.
reason I ask is because Mercury Insurance previously had been looking for the Kings Superfan. That contest was supposed to end March 15th, but it is extended into May. So, hey, Kings fans, do you think you're the ultimate Kings Superfan? Mercury Insurance is looking for you. Visit mercuryinsurance.com/kings to learn how you can win some great prizes, including the grand prize of a luxury box at home. Carlin, there's just too many people that love the Kings, so they're pushing this back. Going through May now. You can submit images or videos on Instagram or Twitter, or as we said, mercuryinsurance.com/kings. Multiple weekly winners will be chosen at random to receive prizes such as LA Kings merchandise, autographed memorabilia, virtual meet and greets with a player. 8 lucky finalists will be selected by Mercury to move on to the finals bracket, where fans will vote to decide who will be crowned the grand prize winner and the ultimate LA Kings superfan. That grand prize winner will receive a luxury box at home, which includes a 55-inch Toshiba 4K Ultra HD Fire TV edition. I don't know what that means, but it sounds good. 4 Adidas Silver Team signed jerseys, $500 Blaze Pizza gift card, a $500 McDonald's Arch card, which is why I asked about that coffee. Thought maybe you came from McDonald's. A bunch of McDonald's swag and a McDonald's Superfan game day meal, which includes favorites like Big Mac sandwiches, world famous fries, McFlurries, and chicken McNuggets. Now, Carlin, I have a McDonald's confession to make.
Let's hear it.
Yesterday, For the first time, maybe not ever, but the first time in my memory, I purchased chicken McNuggets from McDonald's.
First time in your memory.
First time in my memory. I'm not going to say that I've never had them before because who knows? Maybe when I was a kid I had some, but for the first
Where
time I can
have you
remember,
been?
I'm a burger guy. I just never was on board, and I gotta say, I get it now.
I'm
I,
so glad. I am
I got
so glad.
got the sweet and sour sauce, and I ate my
You made a good
chicken
choice.
nuggets, and
Yep. You did it
yeah, it was
right.
real good. Oh,
Good.
thank you. So, as I said, Kings fans, if you love the Kings and McDonald's chicken nuggets, go ahead and go to mercuryinsurance.com/Kings to enter the Superfan contest. Carlin, big week. 3 games. There's supposed to be 4 games, but just 3 games since the last time we spoke on Tape to Tape. Unfortunately, 2 losses to the Colorado Avalanche. Turns out Colorado's real good.
Mm-hmm.
Then there was supposed to be a 3rd game on Monday, which was the Ides of March. Now, for those of you who don't know what the Ides of March are, it's March 15th. It appears in Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, where the soothsayer tells Caesar, beware the Ides of March. And I think a lot of Kings fans were wary of the Ides of March because the Kings were going to have to play St. Louis back-to-back games on the road and at home. But weather prevented that from happening. The Kings get an extra day off, and that brings us to this week's Would You Rather, Carlin.
Okay.
You're from Maine, correct?
Yes, sir.
So you are well familiar with freezing cold temperatures.
So much so, yes.
But you've lived in Southern California for what,
Gosh,
12 years, 13
14
years?
years, almost 14.
There you go. So you're also familiar with very hot temperatures.
Absolutely.
So would you rather deal with 120 degrees or let's say -10?
120?
Yeah,
I think
that's how hot it was in my neighborhood this summer for one day at least.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was not fun.
I think it's okay to deal with the heat because there's air conditioner here. When you're dealing with the snow and the ice and all that stuff, you can stay in your heated home, but you can't really do much else. So I'll take the pools and the ocean and the heat here. Give me a summer home in Maine, and I'll call it a happy medium. That's it. What about you?
No, that's the right answer. 120 is not fun. I've been in Vegas in like 115. The Valley sometimes, Sherman Oaks, Van Nuys, that area can get up to like 111, and it's miserable. It's not fun. It's not good. But you can find some shade. You can sleep. You can go to the grocery store and hang out in the in the frozen aisle. I've been in Ottawa in -40 below weather. I've told this story a handful of times this week already, but -40 is where Fahrenheit and Celsius meet in the conversion tables, and you think you're going to die the second the wind hits you.
Oh, yeah.
And there's no amount of space heaters or wool mittens or anything like that. You feel it every breath you take.
Yes.
So yeah, I'll take a little bit of heat. But the Kings, like I said, took that day off because of the snowstorm in Colorado, and we got to see some snowmen from Todd McClellan. We got to see the coaching staff help a stranger get their car out of a spot.
Yep.
And then on St. Patrick's Day, never mind the Ides of March, but on St. Patrick's Day, we get a huge win against the Blues, bringing the Kings record to 5-1-1 against the St. Louis Blues. You were in the building last night, Carlin. That was one of those games that to me really stinks that there were no fans in the building.
Well, I was in the building. I actually pre-taped all of my segments yesterday, and I was at home. But sure felt like I was in the building. I love those nights. There's certain nights where I am at home based on the things that I'm able to accomplish here and then send off to the broadcast truck. That was one of those nights where I wish I was in the building, Jesse. So you're extremely lucky to have witnessed that, and I'm sure fans are just dying to be able to see those moments again in person too.
Yeah, a couple real nice goals, including one from Carl Grundstrom. That line with Jared Anderson-Dolan back in the lineup, just incredible. But it was St. Patrick's Day, as I mentioned, and there was one player that I had top of mind heading into that game, and that was Cal Peterson, because Cal Peterson was the captain, there he is, for his Fightin' Irish team at Notre Dame. And you can see there he's got the big clover on the goalie mask. Look at that goalie.
What do you think of that, Jesse?
I love every one of Cal Peterson's masks.
Yeah.
We made the distinction in previous weeks that there's some masks that show off a guy's personality, and there's some masks that just become their personality, and I love that mask. out of Cal Peterson. Like I said, the gold finish and the clover. And of course, that will bring us to this week's King of the Week. Now, we mentioned 2 losses to Colorado. That was a shame. Cal Peterson playing all 3 games last week, 1-2, but stops 100 of 105 shots for a save percentage of .952 and a goals against average of 168. And in that St. Louis game, some huge saves from Cal Peterson,
Here comes
including
Marty. He waits and hands it right to play. Now ahead and a breakaway for Hoffman in the clear and a save by Peterson as Hoffman tried to go 5-hole and Peterson
double cross. Velarde can't connect on the pass and Hoffman's way in behind everyone. Tries to get the can opener. He'll try to open up Cal, go to the backhand. Cal comes across. But then the stick gets it. That is technique. That is fundamental. When you open up, double cross. Velarde can't connect on the pass, and Hoffman's way in behind him.
Big saves from Cal Peterson, and not only that, Carlin, but he also picked up his first professional point, or his first point, I should say, in the NHL, picking up an assist on Andrzej Kopitar's empty net goal to make it 4-1 LA. So let's go ahead and look at Cal Peterson's first assist in the National Hockey League.
TV timeout helped. They were on before the stoppage, at least some of them. Kings bounce this puck out, rolling on it towards the empty net.
Get in, baby.
Get in there! Empty net goal with 1:40 to go, and that might be the dagger.
I think he gets a roll too, but that's fine. Below the goal line, hits the ice, takes a little bit of a carom towards the middle, and right there. The pass from Peterson. Backhand works. Think he gets a roll too, but that's fine. Below the goal line, hits the ice.
So there you go, Cal Peterson getting his first assist. Now, Carlin, you and I have talked about this before, but when we do Zoom interviews, we all go in with a different strategy. What are you looking for when you ask a player a question?
I'm trying to get them to not say anything conventional. We don't want them to say, got to get pucks deep, got to get pucks to the net, got to go for the full 60. We want to avoid that. So I try to get creative, and it's something you and I have talked about and how hard it is via Zoom, but that's my number one goal.
I've got 3 different strategies. My first one is if I'm just curious about something and I just want to know the answer. I don't really care if it helps anybody else out. Yeah. The second one is I want some reasoning or thought process behind a deployment issue. And then the third one is every now and then I just want to make the guy laugh. I just want to see if I can toss a question out that'll make the player laugh. So we had a chance to talk to Cal Peterson. I'll let you try and guess what my goal was when I asked him the questions I did this morning.
Hey, Cal. According to my research, your assist last night was the 6th in your career at any level. Are we going to see you start jumping up into the offense more now?
I don't know. It helps the confidence, I guess, a little bit. But other than that, I mean, I think I'm just going to kind of stick to my strengths and make the simple play and get the puck into guys that are paid to put the puck in the net. So that's my goal. And, maybe there's a few more sneaky ones to come, but that's about it for me.
Well, speaking of your goals, how open an opportunity would it have to be for you to try and go for a goal?
It would have to be kind of stars align, the right time in the game, obviously, a comfortable lead to go for it. I don't know. I mean, it's, again, with each game in the shortened season being so important, it's one of those things that I just wouldn't ever want to put the team in jeopardy. So the stars would kind of have to align with that one. And even then, I'd have to get pretty lucky, but I don't know if you're going to see me going for any goals here soon.
All right. Thanks, Cal. Congrats on the assist.
Thank you.
There you go. That was Cal Peterson giving a really great answer, given the question was a joke. And I think he understood pretty clearly.
You made him laugh. You nailed it. Yep.
Mission accomplished. But still a great answer. Even off of a goofball question, a really solid answer. Exactly the kind of thing you'd want to hear from your goalie.
He's a pro every time.
He is. So there you go. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I wish you should ask one more. It's too late now, but I want to know why the goalie of all the times that, he finally gets this point, join in on the goal celebration? Because,
that's
it's
an excellent question.
And the defense.
Yeah. Skate to the bench. Yeah,
right?
yeah. Absolutely.
I want to see it. Pat them guys in the head.
Next time a goalie gets a point for the Kings, I'm asking it.
There
So there you go. With, as I said, a .952 save percentage and a 1.6 goals against average in 3 games, picking up the win against St. Louis on St. Patrick's Day. Former captain of the Fighting Irish from Notre Dame. This week's King of the Week, Cal Peterson. So congratulations, Cal Peterson. There you go. There's the crown. All right. Now, we had the Ides of March. We had St. Patrick's Day. But today, Carlin, is also a special day. Did you know that?
Wait a minute. You're going to tell me.
I am. It's the Stanley Cup's birthday, for goodness sake.
Yay!
Don't you know?
Happy birthday!
So we reached out to Phil Pritchard, keeper of the cup, to see if he would come and talk to us about the Stanley Cup. And we're going to bring you that conversation now.
Kings fans, Mercury Insurance wants to celebrate you. We're giving away prizes every day to the biggest fans on the planet, so it's time to step up. Show us your colors and you could win big. Just go to mercuryinsurance.com/kings to learn more.
Joining us now, curator from the Hockey Hall of Fame and keeper of the cup, Phil Pritchard. How are you doing today, Phil?
Jesse, I'm doing great. How's everything going in Southern California?
No complaints. It's a lovely day, not too hot, not too cold, clear blue sky. Everything's fine. A little bit of drizzle this week, but not too much. Carlin, it's been a while since you've seen Phil, eh?
It's been a while, but the last time I saw him, we had such a great adventure. Phil, I've got your photo framed. I had to bring it out from the living room here. Phil did such a nice job. He got me this photo of my dad after the Flyers' unbeaten streak. It's him in the locker room, and I paid a whole visit to him. In the Hockey Resource Center, which is different than the Hall of Fame. It's kind of like, I like to think of it like the archive, like it's just all the archives of hockey in general, not even just things that would end up in the Hall of Fame. So it was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it's got all the files and photos and everything, and the whole history of the game was right there. And as you remember, we walked through everything: the stick racks, the trophies, the jerseys, and of course, the files and photos and that on your dad's career and the whole history of the LA Kings we got there as well. So
it was epic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And
we're fortunate enough to, sorry, Carlin, we're fortunate enough to have the history of the league coincide with the history of the Kings, because the Kings did in fact go ahead and win the Stanley Cup on 2 separate occasions in 2012, 2014. But Phil, the reason we're having you here today is because in 1892, 129 years ago, Canada's 6th Governor General, Sir Frederick Arthur Stanley, proposed the creation of what would go on to become the Stanley Cup. So does that make March 18th the birthday of the Stanley Cup?
That is the birthday of the Stanley Cup. And if I could ask...
Oh, wow. Okay, there you go.
If it would answer you, it would say it's his birthday. But it can't, so you got to listen to me. So I've been in quarantine, like I said, and it's got to hang out with me. So here it is in my kitchen.
I just started sweating.
Yeah, that's good company. That's not a bad roommate for the quarantine. Now, Phil, I got to add, I got to be a party pooper. I'm sorry. Is that the cup?
That is the cup. So
wow. All right.
So what happened, as I was telling you, we were in Tampa during the Stanley Cup celebration, which led into the 2021 season on January 13th. They dropped the puck. And we drove back to Toronto, but because of the quarantine rules, customs officers said, you have to go right home. And I said, well, I got this trophy. He said, you got to go right home. So I came right home. Wow. We haven't opened since. So I have a roommate. So
how many days with the cup is that for you now?
It will be 2 months.
Wow.
In my house tomorrow. Yeah.
Now, I know there are rules about who can drink out of the cup, who can lift out of the cup. Do you follow those rules when it's just you in the cup?
100%, Jesse.
Oh,
there has been no drinking out of it. And if it could talk, it would tell you that I'm an honest person. And yeah, there's been no drinking out of it. There's been, it's basically sad here. I've got my dog, I've got security, everything. And it's safe as once we get reopened, and hopefully the world will get reopening soon and we can get it back into the Hall of Fame and get it open. But yeah, it's going to be here in my kitchen for its birthday.
For fans who don't know, what are some of the rules, both unspoken and kind of enforced at the same time, while you're traveling with the cup and presenting it to people?
Well, I think the best thing, Carolyn, is is respect. That might be the best rule of all. And as LA King fans know, they've won it twice, and the players were so respectful with it on their time with the cup and everything. Everything we did, it all revolved around the team. So the guys get the opportunity to take it home. And we went to Anze Kopitar's back in Slovenia, and his friends were there, and he did a lot of public things, but it was all done with respect to the history of the game, the history of the Stanley Cup, obviously representing the Los Angeles Kings in the National Hockey League. So, but I mean, some of those rules, drinking out of the cup, if you've won it, you're able to do that. But yeah. Anze wanted his dad to drink out of it. So, hey, that's awesome. Or his brother or what have you. So I guess as a winner, you have the rights to let whoever you want to drink out of it. Nobody can just come up and have a drink out of it. You've got to earn that. And I think that's great what hockey does with the tradition and the aura about it. Same with lifting it over your head. You've got to earn that right. And we saw Dustin Brown the first time as the captain winning then and hoisting it over his head and passing it to all the teammates and that. And that is something that is earned. The guys have spent their whole life towards that goal. And I think it's a great unwritten rule, and everyone respects that.
So cool.
Phil, when young people, specifically my sister, ask me, what to do, what am I supposed to do for a living? How do I get a cool job? What is my path in the world? The advice that I stumbled onto in the middle of my life is always this: Oprah Winfrey presumably has a florist. Oprah Winfrey has a driver, an interior decorator, a baker, a dog sitter, right? Like all these mundane jobs that if they weren't being done for Oprah Winfrey would be perfectly mundane, but because they are Oprah Winfrey's florist, they get a cool job. You're a curator. Yeah. I have a friend who's a curator for a museum in Boston. She loves it. It's a good job, but it's not, keeper of the cup. So how do you go from, being a curator to being keeper of the cup?
Well, I guess for your little sister, I think first and foremost is when you get up in the morning, you got to love what you do. Regardless of what it is, you've got to love what you do. And I think all of us here on the call all love what we do, enjoy getting up in the morning and doing that. So that's job one. But how do you get to be keeper of the cup? I guess I was fortunate through college. My co-op was at the Ontario Hockey League, which is the junior league in Ontario that represents the provinces across Canada. And I volunteered. And I volunteered enough that I bothered them so much that they just said, here's a job, like go away. or I did a good job, I guess. And they hired me. And I think my advice to anybody is if you have a passion for something you want to do, you've got to get yourself known. You got to volunteer. You got to get to know the people. You've got to be involved in that. And so that worked through like 4.5 years. Then my boss came to me and said, there's an opportunity at the Hockey Hall of Fame that I think you'd be perfect at. And as we all know, the hockey world's a small world. So everybody seems to know somebody. That 6 degrees of separation in hockey is about 2 degrees, I think. And so I got the opportunity there, and it kind of gradually became curator and keeper of the cup.
Wow.
And by gradually, I mean, my first week on the job, I went with the Stanley Cup to north of Toronto because we had a small staff and no one else wanted to do it. And I kind of put my hand up, Jesse, and said, sure, I'd do that. Why not? So, I mean, whether it's that or whether it's Oprah's florist or whether you're the guy that writes the hymns on the back of the cards. I mean, someone's got to do everything. And again, as long as you like what you do, I think that's what it is. And for us being curator at a hockey museum where you get to talk hockey and preserve hockey history and hang out with a 3-foot silver rod.
So Phil, I got to ask, because this came up, I don't remember when it was, a few seasons ago, but who owns the cup?
So the Stanley Cup was, as you said off the top, was donated by Lord Stanley. He was the Governor General of Canada, and he was basically the go-between between the royalty and our Prime Minister. So he donated it to the Dominion of Canada, and he appointed 2 trustees. And there's always been 2 trustees since day one. There still is today. Brian F. O'Neill and Scotty Morrison are the two trustees. They govern over it. But the idea was it's played for by the best league in the world, which is the National Hockey League. So since 1926, the NHL has been the only league that has ever played for it. So in essence, it's a National Hockey League trophy governed by two trustees appointed by the Governor General 129 years ago.
My gosh. Well, okay. This is something I'm sure you get asked all the time, and there's can't possibly be one favorite. But do you have a time with the cup that you spent with a team that just stands out to you the most as maybe the most special time, the most hilarious time, the most crazy time? You know, is there something that just stands out to you that you will just never get out of your head in your journeys with the cup?
Well, of course, it was 2 summers with the Los Angeles Kings.
Good answer.
Great answer.
Yes, he paid me to say that. I have. But you know what? I think what is great, and it's a great question because I do get asked that a lot. And to me, every time you get to go out with either a player or a coach or management on their day, it becomes their day. And that is so special. And yeah, we might have been to the town before for someone else, but now they put their own personal spin on it. So it makes it that much special. To me, though, I love going to a new city or a new country, like I had mentioned before with Anze Kopitar in Bled, Slovenia. Beautiful place, beautiful family. And to be the first Slovenian to bring it back to his homeland. He was such a proud, on both occasions, how proud of Slovenian he was to have it there for minor hockey kids so they could have a dream. And I think for each player, that's what it's all about, Carolyn, is they want to give back. They know the team on the ice is part of it, but it's the team around them, their family and friends, their teachers that they went to public school that told them to, you better do your homework, other you're not going to get to play hockey tonight, or whatever that is. That's what makes it special. And yeah, the parties are unbelievable. I'll be honest. The Los Angeles Kings, when they won the cup, they had 2 parades. They had the team parade that was downtown LA, and then the players had their own parade on the boardwalk. Yep. And that parade was unbelievable because it was put on by the players. So Luke and everybody didn't really know how it was going to work out, but the players lived on the ocean there and Redondo and all the beaches, and they wanted to give back. And again, I talk about how they're giving back. Well, the players all got together and I think we all had pickup trucks and we drove down the boardwalk. So they had the houses on one side, the beach on the other, and it was a players parade. And that is unbelievable. And we've never done that in any other year. Have we had a players parade only? It's always been organized by the team, but the players got together, and I think Jeff Carter and I can't remember who all put it together, but it was really cool. So, and that one Jesse didn't pay me for. That's honest.
Phil, I know you get asked a lot of the same questions over and over and over again. I'm gonna throw you one, and I hope it's the first time you've been asked this question. Do you talk to the cup when you're alone with it?
Do I talk to it? Not really. But if I did, I'd win every argument. Because it's
there you go.
I win the arguments.
I feel like I definitely would. And then last question for me. This is just a personal thing that bugs me. I do it all the time. I try not to. People refer to multiple, if they say, the Kings have 2 Stanley Cups. That drives me nuts because in my mind, there's 1 cup and they've won it twice.
Correct.
Do you correct people when they make that mistake? Because I try not to make the error. Good. All right, good. I like that.
Time. And I know, I'm sure it sounds annoying because they go, yeah, but they won it twice. Well, that's right. They did win it twice. They don't have 2 cups. It's the same one. Right. And then it's neat because I don't think everybody understands that the Stanley Cup is only one. Like in football and baseball and basketball, and nothing against those trophies. They're unbelievable, but they make a new one every year. And in hockey, you have to win this. Your name goes here, and then you give it back. And I can't remember the player that said to me once, he said, we only rent it for the summer. He goes, then we have to give it back and we have to earn it again. So it's not ours, but when their name goes on, they become part of the union of a Stanley Cup champion, and that can never be taken away from you. So the LA Kings have won the Stanley Cup twice.
That's right.
That's our grammar. That's our grammar test for today.
It's important. It's subtle but important distinction.
Jesse's been championing that for years now. Guys, it's not 2 cups. It's not.
You won the cup twice. Exactly. Well, listen, Phil, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us.
No problem. I hope quarantine goes well and everything comes back to normal soon, and maybe we'll see you guys soon.
Absolutely.
Hopefully. And if you do talk to the cup, tell it happy birthday for us.
We will. Thank you very much. And I will. Off the air. Out.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks.
Velarde to Carter now. And Carter. Tic-tac-toe, Velarde. That shot altered by an Avalanche stick. They score!
Huge thanks to Phil Pritchard, and huge thanks to the Stanley Cup, Carlin, for showing up on Tape to Tape. That was shocking.
That was insane. Neither of us were expecting that, and kudos to Phil for keeping that under wraps. How can you be that calm sitting next to that silver too? That's insane. Oh my gosh.
I've had a private moment with it. I was fortunate enough in 2014 to have a private moment with the cup, and I didn't touch it. But I think I was more starstruck this time than I was standing right next to it. Have you touched the cup, Carlin?
Yes, I've touched the cup. We talked about it a little bit. I was trying to get his opinion on the unwritten rules of what you're supposed to do with the cup. And I was thankful to hear, because Kopitar had lifted the cup, and you, as a person that did not win the cup, are not supposed to lift it, but the player can do what they want to do with the cup. So as he had his dad drink out of it and whatnot, I was not there for that moment, but there are 2 photos of me, one from 2012 and 2014, not holding it because I can't lift that thing and I'm not supposed to, but it validated my okay, the player does as he pleases, and yes, you're not just supposed to go pick that thing up. My God. Right. So I have touched it, not before they had won it though. I was extremely superstitious, and you were, I guess, not supposed to. If
that's right. You're not supposed to.
Team winning it or whatnot. So I did absolutely not touch it until then.
Well, happy birthday to the cup, and happy birthday to Tony Parra, who is watching us right now, who's shocked to learn that he shares a birthday with the Stanley Cup. That's right, Tony, you do. March 18th. Stanley Cup's birthday and Tony's birthday, it turns out.
Happy birthday, Tony.
Everybody loves the Stanley Cup, and when it comes to a starting lineup, everybody loves the starter from Jack Black, Carlin. Loaded with the superior skincare that the pros love, LA Kings fans can get the starter for just $10, shipping included. Available exclusively at jackblack.com, getjackblack.com with the code TEAMJB. The starter has 4 of Jack Black's best-selling skincare and shave products, plus a full-size intense therapy lip balm, that's SPF 25, in natural mint. So here is to the winning combination of the LA Kings and the starter from Jack Black. $10 plus free shipping available at getjackblack.com with the code TEAMJB while supplies last. Now, Carlin, in the past, we have talked about the playoffs and who the Kings have to beat and who we want to beat each other down the stretch. We are now at the halfway mark. And our own Trevor Rabone, who we've spoken to on All the Kings Men, the official podcast of the LA Kings, and whose voice you would have heard earlier in the season doing the PA announcing for the Kings, he tipped us off to a little chart that shows the Kings' odds of making the playoffs this season. And there you have it, updated with the win over St. Louis last night. Look at that. 66.7%. And look at that. Below them, the St. Louis Blues at just 27%. That's amazing.
Can I print that out and put it on the fridge?
I mean, I want it on a T-shirt, because if they make the playoffs, I don't know how the person or the website or the algorithm decided these odds, but obviously we don't like to see Vegas up there at 100%, but we love to see Anaheim down there at 0%. Yeah, print that up, put it on the fridge so Hammer can see it every day.
I'll give him a T-shirt. 0.0.
There you go.
There you go, bud.
0.0%. But the Kings have a couple, I think 4 out of the next 6 games against the Vegas Golden Knights. So that's going to be an interesting challenge. 1 game left against St. Louis and Minnesota. And then just a whole mess of games against Arizona, San Jose, and Anaheim. So if the Kings do their job and beat those teams, and we're hoping they will, I mean, it sounded crazy to say at the beginning of the season, but there was hope. Yeah. But now that we're halfway through the season and the team, man, when they look good, Carlin. They look real good.
They really do. And I feel like they got some of the hardest hurdles out of the way. You know, how they've already kind of gotten past the Wild, or like you're saying, these next games coming up are going to be heavy Anaheim, heavy San Jose. Gives me a lot of hope. And you can feel it, too, from the locker room, because the players, they're not afraid to talk about it. They're not afraid to use that word, playoffs. So it's something that's clearly being discussed. Nobody's shying away from it. And I think the expectations are valid and becoming more and more validated, and it's exciting to see. So 66.7, I think it's going to raise.
I hope so.
Oh my gosh, I'm just excited. This is awesome.
And if you want to know my perfect or my magic stat, it was the goal differential number on that chart, and you can see the Kings with a positive goal differential and St. Louis with a negative. And generally speaking, positive teams make the playoffs. The negative teams don't. Carlin, we're going to come back next week. Hopefully we'll have more wins to talk about. We'll crown a King of the Week. We'll have another guest. We'll have some more stuff for you. Thanks so much for joining me, as always.
Thank you for having me, Jesse. I'll see you next week.
Huge thanks to Phil Pritchard and the Stanley Cup. Thanks to everybody watching at home. Thanks to producer Chris. I am Jesse Cohen. She's Carlin Baith. This has been Tape to Tape.